When Wakanda Forever was released in 2022, it was the long-awaited sequel to the pivotal success for Marvel Studios, being Black Panther from 2018. With the film being an unexpected success for Marvel, Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa of Wakanda instantly was planned to be a very prominent figure for the Marvel Cinematic Universe of the time. But the unforeseen death of Chadwick Boseman in 2020 on the COVID pandemic of the early 2020s completely and unavoidably changed these plans. But the speculative scenario is this: what were Marvel Studios on Ryan Coogler's original plans for Black Panther 2? Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios had plans to feature T'Challa of Wakanda as the Black Panther from the comics into the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the adaptation by Chadwick Boseman. Marvel Studios expanded the film to be a success, but from information now known, the charisma by Chadwick Boseman along with Ryan Coogler's inspiration for what Black Panther could and should represent in modern Marvel media completely took audiences by surprise, and the film became an astonishing success. When it became clear that Chadwick Boseman was an actor with a massive on-screen presence, much like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, Kevin Feige and Marvel executives decided to make T'Challa of Wakanda to be an extraordinarily important individual in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Executives and producers for Marvel were also very insistent that the creative team behind Black Panther would nearly all return for the said sequel. Disney and Marvel were cautious about proceeding, but they knew they had a character who would be extremely important to the Marvel Cinematic Universe based brand for casual audiences of the movies, on serious readers from Marvel Comics. Supposedly, Kevin Feige in particular wanted Ryan Coogler to return and gave Marvel Studios permission to make negotiations significantly more favorable to Chadwick Boseman due to the potential that T'Challa had. Even soon after the first film's success, Ryan Coogler had a basic concept for the sequel where he would be depicted adjusting to being the new king of Wakanda and guiding the country's place in the world from the centuries of isolation as mentioned or depicted in the 2018 movie. Ryan Coogler later discussed these rough concepts to Kevin Feige, and although nothing was finalized, Marvel Studios was interested enough to let development of the sequel commence. Once negotiations, which took up a good amount of 2019, were later finalized, with production of the film to officially start in either late 2019 or early 2020. Throughout early 2020, the COVID pandemic began, which took a toll on the crew and staff of the movie, and progress with it began to slow and eventually stall. In mid-2020, Chadwick Boseman died from colon cancer, as this undeniably devastated Marvel's plans for Black Panther and the portrayal of Wakanda in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as Chadwick Boseman kept the cancer diagnosis and even condition that he had a secret from all of the people that he had worked with at Marvel, and from statements relating to his closest family and friends, the opinion had that he was going to complete the film, then go into cancer treatment. What was known is that a basic script was conceived of by Ryan Coogler and given to Marvel Studios, where he then began to write the final version for the film. Unconfirmed sources had the said script to either be nearly nothing but previously mentioned ideas to a half-completed movie concept. The decision to potentially recast T'Challa of Wakanda polarized those who had worked on the original Black Panther film to Marvel executives and even casual or serious fans. No one knew what to do exactly at the time, and weeks passed before Marvel Studios eventually decided to not recast Black Panther, a decision that Marvel executives would later regret. In 2021, Ryan Coogler later made public statements saying that rewriting the script and later refilming Black Panther 2, now known as Wakanda Forever, were the most difficult actions he had ever done in his career, because Chadwick Boseman's commanding presence on set not only gave assurances and confidence to the cast and crew, he also shared the same vision or depiction for Black Panther that Ryan Coogler did. Without the assurance or support from Chadwick Boseman, Ryan Coogler had to do the best that he could, and this was later revealed to not necessarily be enough to give the sequel credibility. As a result of Chadwick Boseman's death, everything for the movie had to be completely changed, as the very concept or premise for the movie had the tone of the film, with Wakanda grieving the loss of T'Challa, who had died from an unmentioned disease. This was always meant to be a reference to Chadwick Boseman's cancer, as Namor on the Marvel Cinematic Universe portrayal of Atlantis was always going to be the theoretical focus of the film against Wakanda, but the whole reasonings were now completely different. Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios still wanted Black Panther to be a major force after the original era of the films. Shuri was later put as the focus of the film. Even the title for the film, Wakanda Forever, was used to honor Chadwick Boseman, as originally that title was considered for the third and final film to feature Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of Black Panther, but due to the uncertainty of the film and the desperation to have the movie with a sense of legitimacy, that title was used in the sequel. With all of the details now known and now unknown, with development on film of Wakanda Forever shall forever remain infamous.